Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I was going to be showing you the despair build. This thing, the way I have it set up, I have the explosion mod on it. That's something you can decide whether or not you want to do, because you can kill yourself really easily with this thing, but it just makes it a lot more fun, and that's why I use it. But I was going to be showing you the build because this thing is pretty amazing. Okay, so starting off with the usuals, so we got Hornet Strike for damage, Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot, Lethal Torrent for multi-shot, and Fire Rate on there. And then we're going into doing Corrosive, so Pistol Pestilence, and then Jolt for electricity. So that gives you a lot of status. So that's 70% status on there. I got Bore running, which I rarely do. I rarely do these type of damages, but I wanted to make sure I actually buff this because puncture is actually really high on this weapon. So I figured might as well take advantage of it. So I went ahead with Bore, and then we have Auger Pack for the more damage, and then we got, let's see, Concealed Explosives. Yeah, so we got a Concealed Explosive. This one is pretty. It's up to you whether or not you want to put it, like I said before, because this thing is like a hit or miss. It can end up killing you. That's why I'm using a Trinity today, because it can actually be kind of beneficial in a way if you have the right types of characters. But if you're playing with like weak characters, typically this weapon is going to be terrible. Yeah, so don't use this mod if you don't plan on killing yourself. Okay, so all right, that's pretty much it though. That's the build. Let me just show you the stats real quick. I didn't really do anything with crit. That actually looks like it could be buffed up pretty well since it's at 16%. The main thing is status, 70% on that. I got corrosive on there for 796. And then the puncture is really nice for 1100. That's really good. And then we also have slash and impact. So yeah, we got a lot of status stuff going on, but that's the build there. So let's jump into the mission. So let me show you what this thing is like. Okay, so before we start this survival here, the main thing, since I'm using Trinity, I'm going to be using the link a lot. And this is what benefits this actual weapon a lot, because when the link is going off, I can injure myself and it basically like kills everything in the whole area. So that's a really amazing thing about this. But I just want to kind of show you what it's like. It's super fast. So the main thing that you notice that if it gets to about this range, you can actually hurt yourself. So see, look at that, I already broke my shield just from throwing it 3 times. So the range on it is pretty huge. Like the radius is gigantic on this thing. You got to be really careful because the explosion will rip you to shreds if you're not paying attention. Because there's a lot of times, you know, you get hit by mobs and you're not realizing you're taking any damage, and then you start throwing your shurikens and forget it. Like, over. Mission over. But yeah, let's get into this.
A steady stream of toxic spores is being released.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of show you what it's like as the weapon itself, and then I'll start using the link. But there you go, you saw that, just rip that thing to shreds. One shot, boom. But the only thing is that since these are low level mobs here, they're only level 15, it's gonna be obviously it's gonna kill them really easily. But this weapon doesn't really scale that well to end game. That's the only downside. I mean, if you don't do the explosion mod, then it works out, because the explosion mod actually it starts messing you up later on in the game, because when you start fighting level 100s and stuff like that, all you're gonna do is land up killing yourself instead of actually killing the mob that's right in front of you. So that's something to take into consideration when you're making the build, is to whether or not you want to use concealed explosives. So it's all up to you. But let me start using link so you can see what that thing is like. Because watch this, I can literally just like injure myself, destroy things.
Life support on.
So I can just shoot at the ground and stuff. It's pretty amazing. You see? So I can just basically just shoot at the ground and blow everything up. Oh, I ran out of link. So pretty much this is how you can like self-farm with Trinity. You just shoot at the ground. I thought about trying it with the lens, but I feel like the lens will probably do way too much damage. It'll probably just kill you instantly. So it wouldn't work out. But this works pretty well doing this. So you can kind of just run around and just shoot at the ground. not have to really care about trying to aim at anything. The only thing that I don't like about Trinity is that I've tried to mod her out perfectly in the way that I like, as far as like having efficiency and stuff, and I don't have efficiency on this build, so it hurts not having efficiency, because I can totally see the difference of like having to spam the tool all the time. And I don't typically like to play characters where I have to spam this, like, the buffs over and over, and I have to constantly like stare at numbers. And that's one of the things I pointed out when I was doing my top 5 also of Warframes. One of my top 5s is called Octavia. So Octavia, the problem with her that I have is that her durations, you know, if you're not doing a duration build, it really hurts, because you have to sit there like staring at your freaking power bar for a majority of the time, because you have to do your ducks with the beat, and then you also have to put your buffs down, and you have to be staring at the clock to make sure that you're not running out of buff, because once you go visible again and you're not invisible, they can one-shot you, you know. So she's really weak unless you build her differently to actually be able to take some damage. But yeah, that's the main thing that I don't like about certain Warframes. Like, I'll play like Harl, for example. Harl is really awesome. I really love his play style, but he's in the same boat of like staring at cooldowns, you know. So that's something that kind of turns me off of playing characters like that, because I like to just kind of play the game and not really give a shit that much, you know. Like, I just want to play the game for just the game, you know. I don't know how to explain it. It just, I don't want to be staring at cooldowns. But still, I mean, Trinity is pretty cool. At least she works really well on teams. That's the main thing. I don't really use her that often, though. But yeah, you see this shit? It's pretty much how it is. This is the weapon. Rip things to shreds all day. I could do this all day long. Yeah, but that's the Despair. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. And I'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.